Imagine 5 friends, young and full of life, vanishing into the cold, unforgiving wilderness. No goodbye, no explanation. Months later, their bodies are discovered in a state so bizarre, so chilling, it raises more questions than answers. One of them is still missing, and the forest isn't talking. This is the story of the Yuba County Five, a real-life horror that defies logic, leaving behind only fragments of a nightmare. Was it a tragic accident, or did something far more sinister stalk them that night? They called themselves the Gateway Gators, 5 friends who shared a love for basketball and adventure. On February 24th, 1978, they set out to watch a game in Yuba City, California. It was a trip they'd made countless times before. But this night would be different. This night would change everything. When the game ended, they were last seen laughing and joking at a convenience store just past midnight. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. No one could have imagined what was coming next. Somewhere along the way, something went terribly wrong. Their car was found abandoned miles off course, deep in the remote wilderness. No signs of struggle, no signs of where they went. Only silence and snow. What drove them into the freezing night? Was it fear, desperation, or something far more sinister lurking in the darkness? Outside the cabin, the remains of 3 other men, Madruga, Sterling, and Hewitt, were found scattered across the wilderness. Their deaths seemed to result from exposure, yet why they abandoned their car to trek into the freezing wilderness remains a mystery. And then there's Gary Mathias, the 5th man. His body was never found. Was it a wrong turn that led them to disaster? Did they encounter someone, or something, that forced them into the wilderness? Some believe Gary Mathias, who suffered from schizophrenia, might hold the key to the mystery, but his disappearance only deepens the enigma. Decades have passed, but the Yuba County Five remain a haunting reminder of how easily ordinary lives can slip into the unknown. Whatever happened that February night, the wilderness still guards its secrets, and perhaps it always will. Do you think the mystery will ever be solved? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more chilling tales of the unknown. The most plausible theory suggests the group took a wrong turn, ending up deep in the Plumas National Forest. But here's where things get strange. Jack Madruga, the driver, was described as fiercely protective of his car and would have never willingly driven it onto an unpaved mountain road. Inside the cabin where Ted Wire was found, investigators discovered peculiar items: a watch that didn't belong to any of the men, a neatly folded pile of clothing, and dozens of canned goods left untouched. They also found matches and propane tanks capable of heating the cabin, tools that could have saved their lives, but they were never used. Why? Gary Mathias's disappearance is perhaps the most confounding piece of the puzzle. Despite extensive searches, not a single trace of him was ever found. Yet authorities discovered his sneakers inside the cabin, too small for anyone else in the group. Had he ventured further into the wilderness barefoot? Or was he taken by someone or something? Over the years, some have suggested supernatural explanations. The Yuba County Five were in a region known for strange disappearances and eerie legends. Locals spoke of a mysterious figure called the Watcher of the Woods, who was said to lure travelers into the forest, never to return. Did they encounter something beyond human comprehension? Near the cabin, a frozen creek held another clue: a small flashlight. Theories suggest it might have been dropped during a desperate search for help. Yet the direction it pointed led further into the wilderness, away from safety. Was someone chasing them? Or were they running towards something they couldn't explain? The Yuba County Five remain one of America's most baffling cold cases. The questions outweigh the answers. Why abandon their car? Why ignore food and heat? And what happened to Gary Mathias? For decades, these questions have haunted not just the families, but also anyone drawn into the mystery. Until the wilderness gives up its secrets, we may never know the truth. Perhaps the Yuba County Five fell victim to the harshness of nature, or perhaps they stumbled upon something they were never meant to find. The forest knows the truth, but it's not telling. Decades have passed since that fateful February night in 1978, yet the mystery of the Yuba County Five remains as cold and impenetrable as the forest itself. Investigators have scoured every clue, explored every theory, yet no answer seems to fit. Were they lost? Were they lured? Or did they stumble into something no one was meant to see? Ted Wire starved to death in a room full of food. 3 of the others died scattered across the wilderness, exposed to the freezing elements. And Mathias simply vanished, leaving behind only questions. What made them leave their car, their only sanctuary, and wander into the icy wilderness? What kept them from returning, even as they faced starvation and death? And where is Mathias? Some believe they fell victim to nature's wrath, others to their own fear and confusion. But there are those who whisper of darker possibilities, an encounter with something that cannot be explained, that the forest hides secrets humanity was never meant to uncover. The Yuba County Five disappeared into the wilderness, leaving behind a puzzle no one has been able to solve. Perhaps the answers lie in the shadows, waiting for someone brave or foolish enough to find them. Until then, the forest keeps its secrets, and so does the night. The most plausible explanation is that the Yuba County Five became lost after a wrong turn, abandoned their car in confusion, and tried to survive in a harsh environment they were ill-prepared for. Their judgment, potentially impaired by intellectual disabilities, fear, and Mathias's mental health condition, likely contributed to a series of tragic decisions. Ultimately, they succumbed to exposure, exhaustion, and starvation. Mathias's body was never found, adding an unsettling element to the case. But he may have wandered deeper into the forest or been consumed by the wilderness. To this day, the Yuba County Five remains a chilling reminder of how quickly confusion and isolation can turn an ordinary trip into a nightmare. The forest knows what happened, but its secrets remain buried in snow, silence, and time. The most plausible explanation is that the Yuba County Five became lost after a wrong turn, abandoned their car in confusion, and tried to survive in a harsh environment they were ill-prepared for. Their judgment, potentially impaired by intellectual disabilities, fear, and Mathias's mental health condition, likely contributed to a series of tragic decisions. Ultimately, they succumbed to exposure, exhaustion, and starvation. Mathias's body was never found, adding an unsettling element to the case. But he may have wandered deeper into the forest or been consumed by the wilderness. To this day, the Yuba County Five remains a chilling reminder of how quickly confusion and isolation can turn an ordinary trip into a nightmare. The forest knows what happened, but its secrets remain buried in snow, silence, and time. Imagine the vast open sea, endless, mysterious, and silent, until the quiet is shattered by a desperate signal. All officers, including the captain, are dead. Possibly the whole crew dead. I die. And then, nothing. What happened aboard the SS Orang Medan, a ship that seemed to vanish into legend, leaving only whispers of terror and an enduring mystery? This is a story of the unexplained, where fear lingers in the air, and the answers are buried deep beneath the waves. In the depths of maritime history, there exists a story so eerie, so puzzling, that it refuses to be forgotten. This is the story of the SS Orang Medan, a Dutch merchant ship whose tragic and unexplained fate in 1947 sent shockwaves through the maritime world. Even today, the chilling events that unfolded aboard this vessel remain an unsolved enigma. On a warm summer day in 1947, a series of strange signals crackled through the airwaves in the busy waters of the Strait of Malacca. The radio operators aboard nearby vessels leaned closer, their fingers racing to jot down the urgent, fragmented message. It read, "All officers, including the captain, are dead. Lying in chart room and on bridge. Possibly whole crew dead." The message ended with a final haunting phrase, "I die." Then silence. The distress call spread quickly, and one of the closest vessels, an American merchant ship named the Silver Star, responded immediately. As the crew approached the coordinates, they spotted the Orang Medan adrift. The ship floated quietly on calm waters, its silhouette stark against the overcast sky. But something felt wrong. There was no movement, no sound, no signs of life. When the Silver Star crew boarded the Orang Medan, they found themselves stepping into a world of silence. The ship's corridors echoed with every footstep. The air was cold, unnaturally so, despite the tropical heat outside. The rescuers felt a growing unease as they ventured deeper into the heart of the ship. What they found defied explanation. The entire crew was there, but they were motionless. Some lay on the deck, others in the chart room or engine room. There were no signs of struggle or injury, no blood, no chaos, just lifeless figures, as though they had succumbed to an unseen force. Though the scene aboard the Orang Medan was unnerving, what struck the rescuers most was the profound stillness. The ship felt frozen in time, as if it had been abandoned by life itself. No birds circled overhead, and even the waves seemed unusually subdued. The temperature aboard the ship was unnaturally low. The Silver Star crew found themselves shivering despite their warm weather gear. Was it a malfunctioning boiler? Or something else entirely? The rescuers didn't have time to dwell on it. Their unease was growing with each passing minute. Just as the rescuers began discussing how to tow the Orang Medan to port, smoke began to rise from the lower decks. Before they could react, flames engulfed the ship. The Silver Star crew had no choice but to retreat as explosions ripped through the freighter. Within minutes, the Orang Medan was gone, swallowed by the sea, taking its secrets with it. The loss of the Orang Medan left only questions. Some speculated that the crew had been poisoned by noxious gases from a chemical leak. Others suggested carbon monoxide poisoning or a freak electrical malfunction. And then there were whispers of something more sinister. Perhaps a paranormal encounter or an experiment gone horribly wrong. To this day, the SS Orang Medan remains a maritime mystery. The freighter's very existence has been called into question, with records of its registration shrouded in obscurity. Was it a ghost story passed from sailor to sailor, or a true event that defies explanation? The truth lies somewhere in the depths of the sea, waiting to be uncovered. The ocean holds many secrets, its waves whispering tales of wonder and fear. The story of the SS Orang Medan is a reminder of the mysteries that still elude us, an enigma that invites us to wonder about the unknown and the forces beyond our understanding. Even decades after the incident, the story of the SS Orang Medan continues to haunt maritime folklore. Sailors, radio operators, and historians recount the events in hushed tones, often adding their own chilling embellishments. In lighthouses and ports, the tale is retold, each version more mysterious than the last. Some researchers believe the Orang Medan was carrying a secret cargo, perhaps chemical weapons or unstable compounds like potassium cyanide. A small accident, they say, could have released deadly gases, incapacitating the crew without leaving visible injuries. Others suggest the freighter may have been transporting ammunition or explosives, leading to the sudden fire and explosions. But for every logical explanation, there are those who believe the SS Orang Medan met a far stranger fate. Some claim the ship crossed paths with a supernatural force, perhaps an angry spirit or a curse tied to its unknown cargo. Others whisper of ghost ships that haunt the sea, their crews trapped between worlds, their fates unknown. Oddly, no clear records of the SS Orang Medan exist today. The ship's registry, crew list, and even the rescue report from the Silver Star remain elusive. This lack of documentation has fueled speculation that the story may have been a cover-up, or perhaps a fabrication meant to hide something far more sinister. The Strait of Malacca, one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, remains a vital artery for maritime trade. Yet those who navigate these waters often feel a quiet reverence for its mysteries. Stories of phantom ships and unexplained occurrences remind sailors that even in our age of technology, the ocean still holds secrets beyond comprehension. The SS Orang Medan is more than just a maritime mystery, it's a symbol of the unknown. Whether its fate was shaped by human error, natural forces, or something beyond our understanding. Its story reminds us of our vulnerability and curiosity in the face of the unexplained. The sea, vast and unyielding, has always been a place of wonder and fear, and the tale of the Orang Medan is just one of its many haunting whispers. Perhaps the story of the SS Orang Medan will never be solved. Or perhaps that is the point. Mysteries like this invite us to imagine, to question, and to respect the boundaries of what we think we know. For as long as the sea endures, so too will its secrets, waiting, perhaps, for those brave enough to seek them. The SS Orang Medan, a story that reminds us the unknown may be closer than we think. The SS Orang Medan slipped into the ocean's depths, its secrets locked away forever. Was it a tale of human error, a supernatural force, or something we may never comprehend? The answers remain as elusive as the ship itself, haunting the waves and the minds of those who dare to wonder. Remember, the sea holds more than water. It holds mysteries we may never unravel. Perhaps some questions are better left unanswered.